Happy Wednesday. Hello, hello. Yay. I've got my same team back. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Hold on. Hold on. What's happening? Okay, that's what it is. Now I can hear you. Hello. I've got my same team back. Yay. How is everyone?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm good.
Good.
Oh, I love the red on you, Emily. Love that.
I love how you look down.
I don't remember what I put on this morning. Me? It is the color of confidence, hence the red lip today. So I'm doing what I can. All right. Before we kick off, any questions from yesterday that I can answer? Anything that came up? Simone, I know that you commented on my Instagram post. We had a chat there. Is there anything else that anyone wants to ask? We're feeling good. We're feeling clear. Perfect. Okay, cool. So today is all around unconditional confidence. And let me just mute everyone so that we don't have noise. Oh, there we go. Actually, let's recap on yesterday. So yesterday was all around what did we do yesterday? Building emotional intelligence and self-awareness and really laying the foundation for power. And I just want to be clear with this topic. It's just about micro adjustments, like the micro tweaks, the little cleanups that we can do in our life are really the big things. It's not about a big overhaul. And I know that the word confidence, it kind of like has this undertone of like extroversion and over the top and loud and, bold. And it's not about that. Confidence is something that is really innate. It's available to everyone. And on today's training, I really want to debunk the myths around what confidence is and isn't. So where are we? So today we are talking about confidence. We're talking about failure tolerance. We're talking about fear. We're talking about all of the things and building certainty and discernment and all of that. So we'll have questions at the end as always. So put your questions in the chat or save them up till the end. It's entirely up to you. But unconditional confidence is about building innate confidence that isn't tied to your ability, to your achievements, or to proof. So often we're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for evidence to allow us to feel confident about something. So whether that's in a business context, right? We say we're offering something, we're selling a new product, we're selling a new offer. We're waiting for one person to buy it to feel confident that that offer is sellable, that that price is right, that the product is right, that the messaging is right, that all of the things are right. When we are dating, we're waiting for someone to choose us. We're waiting for someone to respond to us, to take us on a date in order to feel confident within ourselves. And when we outsource our confidence or outsource our worth or outsource anything about us, our happiness, to something outside of us, we are always at the mercy of things and forces that are outside of our control. Because we are not in control of whether someone chooses us or someone likes us back or someone buys our product or fill in the blank of whatever you're waiting for in order to feel confident. What we do have complete control and complete dominion over, and I teach this in Selfish with the sphere of influence tool, what we do have complete control over is our internal world, is how we take care of ourselves, is how we respond when we fail, is how we respond when we're feeling wobbly, is how we take care of ourselves and the stories and the doubts and the fears and the limitations and all of the stuff that inevitably comes up when we are playing a bigger game. Because that's what this work is about, right? Growth is about playing a bigger game and expanding your container to hold more, expanding your nervous system to hold more. So, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. So I guess what I'm saying there is that it's not, we need to break confidence away from being something that is tied to your ability or to your natural born gifts. It's not. It's something that is built and fostered and nurtured. unconditional confidence is about being unapologetic as well. I was in a workshop a few years ago at the start of my personal development journey, and I got given the feedback that I was a walking apology. My energy, the way that I showed up, the way that I asked questions, the way that I didn't ask questions, and I just kind of hid at the back of the room. I was told that I was like a walking apology. And I think 70% of the women in the room that weekend got given that same feedback. And that can just be who we are and how we show up, because of what I talked about yesterday with all of the constructs and the patriarchy telling us that we need to be quiet, we need to be, not as domineering and not as, masculine and not as loud and all of these things. And so we adopt this air of just fitting in, just kind of gently sliding in the back and sitting at the back and not making too much noise and not being noticed and blah, 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 blah. So unconditional confidence is about being unapologetic about the life that you're standing for, about what you are going after, about the wealth that you desire, about the life that you want to live. It's about having boundaries that support your alignment as well, because boundaries are our greatest filtering system. They're our greatest tool for seeking and holding alignment. It's about unlocking your feelings of resistance to things as well. So when we're playing a bigger game, when we are leaning into our resistance, these feelings of resistance will come up. And that's just a signpost that you're playing a bigger game, that you're going after things that you haven't had before. And remember what I said yesterday, to celebrate yourself along the way. Celebrate the fact that you come up against resistance, because that's your feedback system of, I'm doing scary things, I'm doing hard things, I'm navigating growing pains and building a bigger container for myself. So resistance is okay on this journey. It's more than okay. So often we base our confidence on our successes rather than also including the failures. And that's a really untapped gift, is looking at where we've failed, looking at how we've failed, looking at the way that we've responded to failure and what we've done with the failure. That is where we build grit. That is where we build emotional intelligence, is in the failures, is in looking at things and going, I wonder why this failed. Is it because I didn't truly trust and truly believe in myself, and so I didn't actually show up to the challenge? Is it because I was chasing a goal or some achievement that was actually misaligned to what I truly want? Was I aiming the bar too low, and so I self-sabotaged because I know I actually want to play a much bigger game? So failure is information. There's so much information in it, yet we have such an aversion to failure that sometimes we won't even do the things that we might potentially fail at, because the fear and the pain associated with failure is too great. And so that's where we stay within our comfort zone. We stay in the unhappy relationship or in the unhappy job or the unhappy, living situation, because we're afraid of the unknown and what that might mean, and whether we are able to have the unknown and whether we will succeed and blah, 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 blah. So often we base our confidence on our successes rather than also encapsulating the failures and looking at it as a whole wider picture of, like, what does this all mean in the ecosystem of my life? If I'm not failing at something, I'm not playing a big enough game. My dogs are going mental upstairs. If I'm not failing at something, I'm not playing a big enough game. I'm not taking big enough risks. And is that the life that I signed up for? The more that you build your failure tolerance, so when I say failure tolerance, it's like the capacity to just hold disappointment, the capacity to hold failure without it meaning anything about you, without telling yourself stories about your capabilities and your lack of confidence and your lack of deservingness and worthiness and all of the things. Because failure is just a fact. It's not a feeling. And so often we associate the feelings of failure as a fact. It means I'm not good at this thing. Oh my God. It means I'm not good at this thing. It means I haven't done enough. It means I didn't try hard enough. It means I'm not worthy. It means I'm not as good as this other person. But your feelings are not facts. Facts are facts. If you failed, it just means you failed. And we have such a charge around what that word means. Think back on some of your failures in your life, failures. And I imagine you look back and you think, thank God that relationship didn't work out. Thank God I got fired from that job. Thank God that project that I thought was amazing didn't turn out. Some of our, some of the most influential people in the world have had an enormous amount of failures. And that's what has really built the foundation for their successes. So we get to include it all. As part of the ecosystem of our life, the failures are just as important as the successes. So the more that you build your failure tolerance, so your capacity to hold failure without it meaning anything about you, and fail forward, meaning that you fail, you learn the lesson, you get back up, and you get back up stronger, you get back up clearer, you get back up more aligned, and you get back up knowing that you're continuing to move forward, the more confident you become at something. That's just what it is. That's what builds the confidence, knowing that you can fail and it's okay. Knowing that it doesn't mean that your dad doesn't love you, or that no one's going to choose you, or that you're never going to have the money that you want, or you're never going to have the life that you want. It just means this didn't work. This wasn't aligned. It's not my time. Perhaps it's the wrong timing. We get to choose the meaning that we place upon these failures, and we get to choose how we respond to them. And the word responsibility. So sometimes we, my God, it's not our fault when something fails. There's, a million circumstances outside of our control, but it is our responsibility of what we do with it. And the word responsibility means our ability to respond. And we all have an ability to respond to life, to failures, to successes, to everything. We all have that ability, the same ability, except we all do different things with it. We all respond differently based on our past experiences, based on our level of self-worth, based on our level of self-belief, based on our trauma, our upbringing, our conditioning, based on all of the things. And so can you see that our ability to respond to life is really determined by our inner work and what we're doing with all of the stuff inside, all of the shadow that we're holding on to, all of the trauma from the past, and whether that's been integrated or not. That affects our ability to respond today to what's happening today and tomorrow. Failure really has to do with our capability and more to do with our self-belief. And self-sabotage often comes into the conversation around failure. Often we sabotage our ability to succeed at something and to be confident at something because of fear of success. Fear of success is often greater than fear of failure. It's, well, what if people don't relate to me anymore when I am successful? Are they going to accuse me of being too much? Am I going to be tall poppied and cut down? Am I not going to know what to do with all of this success? Are there going to be negative consequences in my family? Am I going to get teased and picked on because I'm, big and I'm too much and I'm too wealthy and all of these things? So failure really has to do with our capability and more to do with our self-belief. So self-belief is fundamental, backing yourself, trusting yourself, listening to yourself. The more, so another really important aspect of failing, and I'm talking about failing a lot, and I hope it's not feeling too heavy for a lot of people, but this is what I really want to do, is bring the light to these kind of like shadowy topics that we shouldn't talk about, right? Because failure is just information. And the more that we can just collect data, gather insights from our failures and just look at them objectively without having that meaning, and just go, okay, that's what this means. Cool, next, moving on. Okay, cool, that's what this means. Next, moving on. Oh my gosh, don't ever have 3 dogs. So can you hold both? Can you doubt yourself, which we all do, it's perfectly normal. Can you doubt yourself and feel afraid and still move with courage? Can those two dualities exist? Feeling terrified, feeling afraid. I was interviewed on a podcast yesterday and the woman has this term called scare-sighted. She's like, I'm scare-sighted. I'm scared, but I'm also excited and it feels the same and I'm going to take action anyway. So can we hold the duality of all of that? The doubt, the fear, the I don't know the outcome, I'm not certain that I'm going to succeed, and I'm taking action in the face of that. Because again, that's where we build our capacity, our container, our nervous system, our window of tolerance for scary things, for big things, for bigger things than we've done before. So can you hold it all? Sometimes we think that, feeling afraid or feeling fearful or feeling, worried or uncertain or unclear or whatever, we think that means stop. Don't take action. Stay here until you've got the green light. Stay here until you've got certainty. But newsflash, the certainty doesn't come. The certainty comes through taking that action forward in the face of that fear, that self-doubt, that lack of belief, and being completely unattached to the outcome. So having high intentions about what you want to achieve. I would love this. I would love to call this into my life. I would obviously love to succeed at this thing, but I'm completely unattached to whether I do or not, because I know that regardless, I'm going to get exactly what I need. Because again, some of our greatest failures give us the best redirection to something that's even more aligned. And who are we to get in the way of that? If we've got our blinkers on and we're focused on, this is how it needs to turn out, this is when it needs to happen by, this is the amount that I need, we don't leave space for more. And we severely limit ourselves based on our past results, based on what we think we're capable of, based on the past, based on the evidence that we've gathered. And it might be this. But if you're attached to this, you're not allowing yourself to play in the realm of more. So having high intentions and really energetically projecting what you want to achieve, who you want to embody, who you want to show up as, being and the results that you desire, but being completely unattached to how and when and where and with who they need to happen. So can you hold all of it? Can you take action? Can you move? Can you keep moving? Can you keep in consistent action, even when you're feeling the fear, even when you're feeling the doubt, even when things aren't certain? I say this a lot, but readiness and motivation, they are not feelings. They're not feelings. They're decisions. And so we can't sit here waiting to feel ready. I'm ready to start the business and leave my 9 to 5. I'm ready to whatever, play a bigger game. I'm ready to leave my husband. I'm ready to finally have kids. I'm ready to whatever. It's like you decide that you're ready. Even when you don't have the clarity, even when you don't have the certainty, even when the doubt is still in your body, you decide because there's something inside of you that knows. Does that make sense? Like holding it all. Yeah, don't wait for things to be like squeaky, 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 squeaky clean and perfect and feel good and there's an absence of doubt. It's not going to happen. So this is really about building unconditional confidence, is about playing a bigger game. And so if you want to have greater success, play a bigger game. Create pathways for greater success. Take more risks. Celebrate being really shit at things at first. It's okay. I know that perhaps we probably have some wounding from childhood where if we were crap at something, we got teased. If we couldn't catch the ball, we got teased by the boys. Or if we couldn't, whatever, we got teased. And so we take that into adulthood and we make that mean something about our capabilities. Of I'm not going to try to do this thing because I don't have evidence that I'm good at it, so I'm not even going to try because I cannot bear being crap at it. Can you think about something in your life that you perhaps would like to try, but you're worried to be crap at it? Like the piano or like dancing or pole dancing or whatever. So many things. I'll do it if I know that I'm going to be perfect. Where's the fun in that? Where's the growth in that? Where's the stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone? I will often have cold showers and do ice baths, not because it feels great in the moment. It feels really, really painful and hard and scary. And I think that I'm going to die when I hop into the ice. But after about 15 seconds, where my body thinks it's literally going to die, there's this euphoria where I'm like, I'm not dying. I'm here. It feels good. Oh my God, how can I stay longer? And it builds my capacity to do harder things. So when I can get in the ice, I can then also have the hard conversations with people. I can say no to people. I can tell my mum that I need more validation or whatever the thing is. So we get to play a bigger game by doing things that make us more uncomfortable. And confidence comes from an unshakable belief in yourself and a trust in your capacity and in the potentiality of the world that we live in. Your potential is limitless. Anything that you desire is possible. If someone else in the world has achieved it, there is no reason to support that it's not possible to achieve that thing. Yet we limit our potential because we don't have that evidence. We don't have certainty. We don't have our mum telling us that you'll definitely succeed at that, it's okay. And so I think I talked about this yesterday, but we upper limit ourselves and we place caps on our potential for how big and how great and how successful and how abundant we can be. Because we haven't seen that yet. And so we don't fully believe in ourselves that we can do that. And so the actions that we take are not aligned with someone who believes that they can have the big things. So this is why I do future visioning. And we're doing that on Thursday night. That's right. Thursday night on the full moon call, we'll do future visioning, because you're literally believing that you're already that version of yourself. You're embodying that version of yourself who is already successful, who already has all of the things. You feel it in your cells. And so when we do that today, the actions that we take this afternoon, tomorrow, the next day, are from that embodiment, from that version of you who already has that things. Not from the version of you yesterday who was still afraid and didn't have the things and hadn't built the container, but it's from that embodiment, that future version of you. So that's a really powerful tool for building that confidence, is sitting in the vision, eyes closed, mind off, just being in it, projecting it out like a movie screen in front of your head, seeing yourself as that thing. Whatever it is, everyone has a dream, so place yours in there. So the unshakable belief part is important, and it's a practice, because there's going to be days where you have the belief, and then there's going to be days where you're wobbly and you don't believe anymore, and you're looking for evidence, and you're wanting to go back into your comfort zone. And so it's just consistency. It's consistency of tapping back into that vision, tapping back into that belief, feeling it in your body. And there's physical practices that really support that. So breath work is absolutely one of them, because when you're in a breathwork session, you feel limitless, you feel expanded, you feel entirely activated and aligned, and all of the bullshit just gets stripped away. So if you feel like that in breathwork, do more breathwork. If you feel like that in meditation, do more meditation. If you want to microdose with mushrooms, do that. Do your thing which gets you into that energy of self-belief. And there's two ways to build confidence. There's probably three, but we'll talk about two. Number one, and I shared this on social media yesterday, so you've already had a snapshot, but number one, through gathering evidence. And that might either be our own evidence. We did something, we succeeded at it, we didn't fail, everything was okay. Or that might be evidence of seeing someone else do that thing. Oh, well, someone else, another coach just had $1 million month, so obviously it's possible. So through gathering evidence, that's number one. And if we want to gather evidence for ourselves, so we want to achieve the thing, to have evidence for ourselves to believe that, that's first going to take bravery. That's going to take self-trust to do the thing when you're not certain that it will get you the results and the outcome that you desire. So it's taking that risk. It feels risky, but risk is exciting. It takes bravery because you're doing something new for the first time, and you might suck at it, you might fail, you might whatever, but it's okay, because you're doing it for the quest of the evidence, which is going to build the confidence. And the second way is through practicing something enough times to get good at it. So there's a saying that if you practice something 10,000 times, you'll master it. Or you master anything you practice 10,000 times, or something like that. And so you want to become confident at something, just practice it a lot. You want to become confident at going on dates, or you want to become confident at dating, go on more dates. Build emotional intelligence and awareness, build the capacity to hold rejection, build trust, hopefully have some fun in the process, celebrate your healing along the way. All of that gets to happen when we're dating. We're not going to become more confident at dating by sitting at home thinking about it and watching Love Island. In fact, I probably wouldn't recommend that. We get more confident by being in the arena, by fucking up, by being scared and taking action anyway. And who knows what might happen? You might just meet the love of your life in the process. And wouldn't that be a beautiful vision to sit in when you're in this process of getting confident about dating, sitting in the future vision of like, I've already met my person. I know how it feels in my body. I know that I can hold this. I know that I'm worthy of this. I know what we're going to be doing together. Sitting in the vision today as if it's already happened. And then using that energy for your dating experiences, for every conversation that you have with someone, for every interaction that you're having with someone. Perhaps you'll be more, alert and you'll have your eyes up when you're in the supermarket versus on your phone and looking down and not making eye contact. So it filters out into every other area of our life. You want to get more confident in your job, get a mentor, increase your failure tolerance, take on bigger projects and tasks that you haven't done before. Put your hand up for things that are outside of your wheelhouse. You want to feel safer and more confident with money, then read books on finance, listen to podcasts, or go to seminars, or have conversations with people who are in that realm or who are really, abundant and confident with money. Clean up your money and your self-worth shit. There's so much work that we can do to become more confident with money, but it's not going to happen through sitting and complaining about your lack of confidence with money. It gets healed by taking action in the face of it, taking action in the discomfort. I've got a really shit relationship with money right now, and I'm taking action forward, and I'm doing things about it, and I'm reading the books and doing the things and cleaning up my stuff and healing my shadow. Complaints will not do anything to build confidence. It's a leaky energy, and I'll talk about that more tomorrow. So leadership is really about asking the question of like, okay, now what? I've got this information, now what? What action am I taking? What am I doing about this? How am I moving forward? How can I stay in momentum? And it's about taking action despite the uncertainty. So I'm not clear, I'm not certain, I don't know the outcome, and I'm taking action anyway. I trust myself. And sometimes we want to see the whole staircase before we actually take the next step, but we just need that next step. So constantly asking the question, what is my next best action? You have all of the answers within yourself. That is just the truth. You have all of the answers within yourself. And I know that it's easy to sit in the seat of, I said this to my client this morning, deja vu. I know it's easy to sit in the seat of, I don't know, I don't have the answers yet. Can you help me? Can you tell me? Can you figure this out for me? And it's entirely disempowering when you have all of the answers inside of yourself. You just need to build and continue to build and do the reps of building your self-trust muscle, of reconnecting to your intuition, of stripping away all of the layers that you've piled up on yourself, of not trusting yourself, doubting yourself, not believing in yourself, not feeling empowered to make decisions for your greatest good. So it's a stripping away and it's a moving towards. And remember that you're not missing anything. You're not missing the skill or the capacity or the intellect or the anything. You don't need more. You don't need to do more. It's just about being more of what you already are and letting that really shine through, and not trying to be something that you're not because you think that that will be more successful or that will be more palatable or that will be more something else. Being more of who you already are right now, that is your gift. And it's more about being more of who you already are. So being more vulnerable, being more brave, being more bold, being more honest, being more, receptive to receiving support, being more of you. So how can you be the fullest you? Where are you holding back in your life? And you might want to write these questions down and reflect on them tonight. How can you be the fullest you? Where are you giving people a watered down version of you because you think that it's more palatable? Where are you holding back in your life of going for the things that are outside of your reach, outside of your comfort zone? And then also, what's already working? Like, what's working really well? What do you want to recognize yourself for that you are really confident in? Because if we're confident in one area of our life, or more than one, and not so confident in another area, we can lease that frequency from the confident area. So I often hear, and my own experience was, I was really confident at work. Like I could say anything, ask for anything, do anything, put myself in big rooms with leaders and blah, blah, blah. And then in relationships, I was like, ooh, I don't know how to ask to get my needs met. And I couldn't advocate for myself in relationships. Third question, how can you be the fullest you? Where are you holding back? What's already working? I'll put them in the chat box. I think I threw another question in there, but I don't remember what it was. Like, what are you already confident at? I think it was. What did I just say? Yeah, I was really confident at work, and then like with relationships, couldn't set boundaries, couldn't ask to get my needs met, shut down in conflict. And I couldn't understand why. I was this one version of myself in the workplace and this one version of myself in relationships. And a lot of that has to do with what we're holding on to. You know, I had a lot of relationship trauma and daddy issues and mummy issues and all of the things. And so, of course, I was showing up to relationships through the lens of all of my trauma, through the projections of all of my beliefs about men and about who I could trust and about who I needed to be in order to receive love. Whereas in the workplace, I received validation every day. I knew what I was doing. I felt confident because I was doing the thing and it was easy and it was within my comfort zone. And so maybe reflect on the areas of your life where you're really confident in one area and then another area is a pile of shit. And you can lease that frequency of like, okay, well, this is the potential. I get to be this confident the way that I am at work, where I'm just my true, authentic me. I get to be that in my relationships. There's just a little bit of micro adjusting to do. There's just some tweaks. There's just some shadow that needs to be excavated and some, weeds that need to be pulled out. But if you can see that, the mirror neurons in your brain can believe that it's possible for you to be that confident in the other areas of your life. And then finally, we'll move on to questions in a moment. So just get them ready. Building a nervous system that can hold more of what you want. So this is a big part of confidence. Often, the sun is wild. Often we will sabotage our results. We will place caps on our potential and upper limits because we haven't actually built the nervous system to hold it. So I uncovered this sort of belief recently that I really wanted a bigger business. I wanted more wealth. I wanted more clients. I wanted, more success, all of the things. Yet my body was terrified of being more stressed, terrified of having more people need me, more people in contact with me, more people, clawing at me, more people in my DMs. And so my nervous system didn't feel and wasn't in alignment with the level of success that I wanted. And so now I know that my work lies, if I want that bigger business, my work lies in building the nervous system and the container to hold it. So can I call in more support, more energy work, hiring team members, just doing more breath work, doing more meditation, having more white space where I can really fill myself back up, having more time alone, setting more boundaries on my weekends, taking time away and having holidays on my own where there's no friends, there's no work, there's no demands. That's how we build the container to hold more of the things that we want. And that really ties into the confidence piece, because the feminine in us needs to feel supported by the masculine, and the masculine, so we all have masculine, feminine energies, but the masculine energy is the support system, it's the structure, it's the container that holds all of your flow, your creativity, your emotions, your passions, all of the things that you want to be doing and creating in life. We need to know that we have the container to be held in that. Make sense? Yeah. So that's the systems in your life. That's the support structures. That's receiving support from the mentors and the massage therapists and the energy workers and the therapists and all of the things. That's it. That's my training for today on unconditional confidence. So I hope that has given you some ideas, given you some awareness, understanding, some tools in order to step more powerfully into the things that you are afraid of stepping into, of playing a bigger game. I just feel like this time that we're in right now, there's just so many women like fully stepping into their leadership and doing big things and, going for more and being more wealthy and out earning their partners. And It's just such an exciting time to be doing this work and stepping in and dismantling what it means to be a confident, abundant, successful woman. So I'm glad that you're all here. And I will answer any questions that come up. So you can either type them in the chat box or you can take yourself off mute. And this is an opportunity to get hot seat coaching. So if you want to dialogue about something that you're coming up against, now's your time. I'll answer your question, Simone, as well. Being able to work through fear and failure, is that the same thing as having resilience? Yeah. So emotional resilience and emotional grit is just about having the capacity to hold the discomfort that comes with fear, that comes with failure, that comes with the heavier things, for sure. Yeah. The more that we expand our window of tolerance to be able to hold those things without crumbling, without failing, without giving up, without whatever, we become more resilient. It's more like water off a duck's back. When things don't go wrong, we don't make it mean something about us. It's just like, okay, cool, on to the next. Does that answer your question? Cool. And fear, fear is just information. Fear is just telling us that this thing is really meaningful for us, that this thing that we're wanting or doing, it means a lot to us. Fear wouldn't come up if we didn't care. Any questions? Anything anyone wants to workshop?
I'll step on it again.
Yay!
I feel like I've got a big list, so may as well chip one thing off there. One thing I've been, I want to say working on, but I don't want to say the words working on, like realizing and admitting to myself is, I guess, like freeing yourself to keep dreaming big. Like when I left school and got my degree, got my job, and I had my plans of like what I wanted my life to look like. And then I got there, which is awesome. But I stopped dreaming, and a friend kind of helped me realize that it had been like 4 or 5 years since I really thought about what else could be. And so I think that's where you talk about that like potential cap. Like I was like, I got there, and I almost I had that feeling of, well, that's all for me. But then you get that feeling of there's something missing or that unfulfillment. I guess what like resonated with me today was that like the answer lies within, because I definitely sit in that camp of like, I know there's something more that I want, but I don't know what it is. But I think it comes down to that fear of admitting. So I think what I'll take away from today is just to give myself more quiet time, and because I've been doing a few meditations, but have opted more for the guided ones. But maybe I just need more silence to just let those sort of messages come through. Yes, I don't know if you have any other tips on like just freeing that block, I guess, of that potential cap, other than just letting go.
I think firstly by not calling it a block, because I don't think it's a block. It's just it's a patterned behavior of getting to a certain place and then feeling as if, okay, I should be happy here. And then I think there can be a guilt associated with getting somewhere, getting some level of success, and then I'm still not happy. I still want more. Who am I to want more? And so perhaps it's just about noticing some of the feelings that are arising, the stories that are arising from this place. And it's not a block. You just don't have the answer yet. And so allowing yourself to play in the realm of the answer is coming and I can't wait to receive it. I'm open to receiving it whenever this gets to come through, and I'm prioritizing more non-demand time, sacred time, where I'm listening and I'm receiving. And sometimes we can limit ourselves through focusing on like the end goal as if in like a tangible form. Oh, it needs to be a certain job, or it needs to be a certain moving somewhere, or something. Focus on the feelings. So what feelings do I feel like I'm being pulled towards? Am I seeking more freedom in my life? Am I seeking more like spontaneity and adventure? Am I seeking more, whatever the thing is, like try and attach to the feelings or the values, and seeing where in your life those feelings and values already exist, having more of those, inviting in more of those, and then building that and seeing where that leads you.
Mm.
I said this to my client earlier today. Often we think that we need to figure it out, like Simone needs to figure it out. And when we do that, we're not trusting that we're being supported by a higher power, by the universe, by our guides, by everyone around us to help us, arrive and receive the answer. So try not to like sit down and figure it out with like a pen and paper and waiting for that clarity to come through. Trust that it's coming, trust that it's on its own timeline, and you just get to receive. You just get to be listening when it arrives. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does. Like something else I've like heard is to try and like have fun in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Which
yeah
has its own like well, with my daughter, she is definitely trying to bring that out of me, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you just notice the resistance, but that resistance is shrinking. So
yeah.
it's good.
Yeah. Connecting back into our inner child and just being back in our play and our joy and our expression, that can be the birthplace of creativity. And sometimes the answers will come to us when we stop trying. So when we're driving or when we're in the shower, we're not trying to shower, we're not trying to drive, we're just driving, we're just showering. And so we get a lot of insights through that. And so can you do more of the things in your life where you're not trying, you're just doing, you're just being in it. I feel like everyone's kind of in a state of flux at the moment. Like there's relationships breaking, there's people like wanting to move jobs and towns, and yeah, I think it's an exciting time for everyone to be in. But the uncertainty, the fear, the doubt, the like, will I make the wrong decision? All of that is normal. Can we hold that? Hold it and really like be with that emotion, be with the fear, be with the uncertainty, and still trust and still have self-belief and still be taking action towards our dreams. We get to hold it all. Yeah.
Do you have any examples like that you might do yourself or other people of like, I guess like rituals in the morning where you like step into or like, spend that time thinking about the person you want to embody, or to remind yourself of all these new things that you're trying to become your new norm as opposed to just being like ideas?
Yeah. Rebecca, do you want to share your practice?
Mine is walking. I find it walking along the beach personally for me. I don't know if it's, I'm really attracted to water for one. But obviously, like Anna said, something obviously you don't have to think about walking, you just do it. And obviously I'm just zoned out because I'm looking at the view. Sometimes I'll close my eyes, sometimes I won't, because obviously I need to see where I'm going. But I personally will just imagine. I just use my imagination as much as possible. I just imagine where I want my business to go, what I want and what I intend for the day. It could be something like that, depending where I'm at, obviously. Could be my future visioning that I do. Anna knows I love that, and I'm really passionate about that. And then I find not only does it set your day up, but it obviously you're using that obviously as your embodiment as well, but obviously it's kind of like, I don't know, it just brings a smile to your face. Like it just actually lights you up inside. That's personally what I do anyway. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Because we have to remember that 90% of the thoughts that we think are, I think it's 80% of the thoughts that we think are negative, and 90% of them are recycled from yesterday. And so that's just our natural state, which isn't really conducive to, flourishing and positivity and blah, blah, blah. So having rituals and having anchors that we practice to bring us into that future state, to bring us into the higher vision, to bring us, to elevate us into that higher state, having a practice of that, like it is not a nice to have, it's a must have. Otherwise, we're just recycling those negative past thoughts and fears and blah, 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 blah. That's just what our brain does. It's a safety mechanism. So having those anchors, and it's going to be different for every person. For me, I do Vedic meditation every morning, 22 minutes. And in that, like for the first 5 or 10 minutes, I'm probably just sitting there, and then I'm like, oh shit, future vision. Okay. Oh, okay. Right. Connect to that vision. And then I'm like, oh, ideas for today, or things I need to get done today. Oh shit. And then sometimes I open my eyes and I put this thing down in my notebook, and then okay, future vision. How do I want to? Oh, I'm in a relationship. Oh my god, it's a scrambled mess. But that's my process, and it's just about like bringing yourself back, bringing yourself back, bringing yourself back, and knowing that that's available to you. Of I get to sit in this future vision. I get to practice this. And the more that we do that, it becomes more natural. So throughout the day, I might be like in front of my computer between clients or something, and I might think, oh my God, how good would it feel if Selfish was full and da 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 da, whatever the thing is, the goal that I'm working towards. How good would it feel if I got into Bali, and just like daydream throughout the day. And that is something that kids really teach us, is the power of daydreaming. We all have an imagination. We just often use it for catastrophizing and for negative spirals. We don't actually use it for good. So how can we tap back into that childlike wonder, into that imagination, into that play, into that creativity, and use that as part of our anchoring practice? Reminding us of how powerful we are, reminding us that we are co-creating. So meditation, breath work, walking, journaling. You can do a practice called scripting, which is you're writing out as if it's already happened. I am in my dream job. I'm earning X amount of money. I'm getting massages every day and living in my beachfront home, and I feel blah, blah, blah. Do you have something,
Another
Rebecca?
thing I personally do is I'll have, like, I find 3 o'clock is my time where I'm like, can't be bothered. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll put like a little reminder. I think we actually did this in Selfish too. I'll put a reminder on my phone, and it might be acknowledge how amazing I am, or it might be self-awareness, or it might be it might be future visioning, or anything like that I want to do. But I have this ongoing reminder. Some days it's 3, some days it's 2, depending what day I've woken up. But it's literally just set in my phone as a reminder, because obviously let's face it, we're pretty much nearly always on our phone. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll have those reminders in my phone just to bring you back to that space as well, until you get to that kind of habit where you're just doing it naturally.
Yep.
Another
Yeah,
thing to add.
that's such a good one. Yep. Putting post-it notes up around the house, like on your mirror. Maybe having a little section in your house which is specifically for something. Like we create associations between areas and rooms and locations and a task or a feeling or a thought. So can you have a little corner in your house which is where you sit and where you meditate and where you connect to your future vision, and you might have crystals and blankets and things around you, and it's just, you might have an altar and some incense, and that's where you really go into your zone. Or maybe it's down at the beach, which is where it is for Rebecca. Like, where can we create these anchors where these rituals are just natural? What else? Shelley, Carlin, I know I can't see your faces, but have you got anything? All right, perhaps not. So I will wrap up here. Reminders. So where are we today? So tomorrow is the final training, which is on plugging energy leaks. So we're going to zip everything up. And then at 6 o'clock, I'm running a Cleaning Up Your Relationship to Money masterclass. There's still a few tickets left at 22, but they're almost gone. And then it's $44. And then tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, we've got our monthly healing hour inside a higher ground. So that's our future visioning session. That's our whatever connection, whatever we're doing. Releasing, we'll probably, I don't know, howl at the moon, something. And then, another sale just came through. 2 came through while I was on this training, so you better hurry if you want a ticket. And then what else? And then of course selfish is enrolling. So Carlin, Shelley, Simone, you're the only ones who haven't done selfish. So if it is calling towards you, then highly, highly, highly recommend reaching out to me, letting me know, because it's about to explode into a mastermind program, and it will be a much higher investment from October. So there's that. Sound good? What are we doing today? I want one action from all of you. What are you doing today to embody what you have learned?
I've been on my computer nearly all morning, so I'm actually going to go out and go for another walk, me personally, and just create some white space because I haven't had any today personally.
The computer feeling is yucky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Emily?
I'm going to go with the white space option as well. I've been on Zoom. This is my 3rd hour and I'm about to leave for the day. And I just want to get home and get comfortable and have some space and just not focus on anything apart from a bit of future visioning.
Beautiful. Yay. Love that. It's a nice practice to get home, like to break up the work from the home, to like either have a shower, get out of your clothes, or like brush your hair, or put on some music, light a candle, like just get that energy off your body for the day so that you get into self mode. Yeah, nice one. Shelley's going to take the dog for a walk. Nice. Some silent. Carlin, Simone, what are you doing? Reading and quiet. I feel like we're all craving the same thing.
I'll do a bit of, I've done some like meditation and some tapping this morning, but I will spend some time this evening. My daughter's away, so I will do some brainstorming of some like little actions I could take that feel out of my comfort zone, that have been like there for a little while. But I'll write them down so they can become tangible.
Nice. I'd like you to do something physical as well. Like I feel like maybe a lot of your practice is kind of like head, get it down on paper, like brain, logical thinking.
Definitely.
I'd love for you to like
you know me to a T.
Throw on a playlist, like throw on some music, like Taylor Swift, shake it off, and just like dance around your room and just go a bit crazy and shake up that stagnant energy in your body. Maybe do some breath work afterwards, maybe some anger release, whatever, and then sit down and do the brainstorming.
Okay.
But we need to move the energy first.
Yeah.
Otherwise we're brainstorming from our logical brain, and it's like, what do I think that I should do? And it's not heart.
Yeah, I will take that on board.
Yeah.
The thing I do find about journaling, which is why I use it so much, is that I can't like lie to myself. So I feel like I can only write truth. But I do hear what you're saying. It is good to get out of just all your thoughts as well.
Yeah, just change your state. Yeah. Swimming, ice baths, saunas, walking, exercise, dancing, screaming.
Thank you.
All right, thanks ladies. Thank you for joining me. Everyone who's watching the replay, if you've got any questions, reach out in the community, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.